Rahul Kolekar, myself Rahul Kolekar. I am from Conservative Aquatics. I am working in the field of ornamental fish keeping and fish culturing for past 10 years. As compared to period, I am a newbie. So I would like to thank Matthew sir, Lord sir, Indian Aquagica whole exhibition and IIPTF for giving me this kind of opportunity to share my experience of fish keeping with you all. So to start with, my today's topic will be science of discus keeping. Before that, I would like to talk about what Conserveda is. Conservation means protection or preservation of things, and Veda in Marathi means madness. So I started this firm for 15 years back to pursue my passion. So currently I'm working in aquaculture field, outdoor field and lifestyle. And in aquaculture we are propagating ornamental fishes and other aquatic animals. In outdoors we promote ecotourism and ecotourism just like trails, treks and wildlife safaris. In lifestyle we are promoting eco-friendly goods like neem wood, bamboo wood and other things. So today's topic will be on aquatics, so I should focus on aquaculture. If anyone is interested, please do join me later. So in Conservative Aquatics, our main objective is promoting captive breeding program for aquatic animals to reduce the state of stress on wildlife population. Promoting ethical fish keeping for protocols and creating education and awareness programs. So as we saw yesterday, as we heard here yesterday, that there are many new things coming up in the industry. So dry food, new aesthetic values to the industry, the large scale supplies, import industry. So altogether this industry is growing slowly, but nobody knows about it because we are not speaking it. And thanks to Intern and Growell, they are taking forward the step to exhibiting this kind of stuff, this kind of exhibitions. So our vision for future is creating local and sustainable industry in India. I spoke with Matthew sir also. So we should bring out something new from efforts of all of us. So we are also in research. So currently we are working on recirculatory aquaculture systems. So specifically for discus, we are working on grow outs, and for whiptails and other plecos like bristle nose 144, 183, L010A. So we are working breeding protocols to standardize them into recirculatory aquaculture system. There are many benefits of recirculatory aquaculture systems, like you use less amount of water, you get stable amount of bacterial colonies so that your fish will be stress free. To maintain these things, you need food. That is our main concept. If you are feeding them live, so there are chances of contamination. If you are feeding them the frozen goods, the chances of contamination of water and deteriorating of water quality is more. So to achieve this recirculatory aquaculture systems in industry, we need specialized food for special species of fishes. So after working with many foods, I decided to start with maintaining fishes like cichlids, plecos, carps, guppies and other some varieties to convert with them on the dry feeds. So currently we succeeded in achieving this goal for discus, for plecos, and as yesterday I mentioned, I converted my whole setup of royal whiptails on dry food of Indian foods. So we are also working on captive breeding protocols of leeches. Leeches are the good thing and they are highly useful in the medical sector, cosmetic sector and Ayurvedic medical sciences. So now, till date, leeches are only supplied through the captive breed. So we are trying to make sure that the future generations of medicines, cosmetics industry and Ayurvedic industry, we should be able to supply them as a captive breed. So we are also in the field of education, that we are promoting the science of discus keeping lectures for beginners and hobbyists and the people who are willing to take their interest to the professional level. For that, science of discus keeping is a theory course we are conducting on a Zoom calls, and for practical fish keeping we are also working in learn and earn program and internship program from professionals and semi-professionals. It is flexible program as per your needs. You can join my science of discus keeping course, and even if you are interested, you can pursue them to the practical fish keeping. So these are coming soon. So we are planning to start the courses for beginners as well, for pleco breeders and specifically for hatchery management. So as the today's lecture I was supposed to speak about, there are some important factors as we are developing the industry with fish, with food, with aesthetic values, and with many numbers of other things. So we always forget about the water. We focus always on fish, कि कौन सा fish चाहिए, कैसा fish चाहिए, but we never talk about water. So here today's topic is important parameters in discus keeping. So you can apply this science to each and every fish when you are planning to keep them. Even the guppy needs slightly hard water, but day to day for long period of time we are keeping them in the tap water. If you change the tap water to the slightly harder water, you will achieve the best results with guppy as well. So focusing on discus, I am categorized this important parameters into three categories: physical parameters, chemical parameters, and biological parameters. Now let's discuss these parameters individually, and feel free to ask questions if you want in between, if it is okay. So temperature is the main factor when you are keeping the discus. If you are achieving to keep them at 28 degree to 30 degree Celsius for raising, it will give you good results. When the temperature drops, you will find it is like if you saw the GOT, you must know the winter is coming. So it is bad dreamers for discus keepers. So always make sure your discus tank temperature is maintained between 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. Some people will tell you that you can go for till 32, but as I advise, if you're planning to keep them, if you're planning to treat them, then only 30 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius is advisable. Otherwise 28 to 30 is fine. If you're planning to breed them, you can glow slightly 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, that is 26 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. That's why we get maximum yield of discus during monsoon season, when the climate is stabilized. Humidity, highly neglected factor. It is not mandatory to maintain humidity for home aquariums, but if you are planning to start a hatchery, you will see during the month of October, April and May, you will face the high humidity issues in your hatchery. So to reduce that, you should use a exhaust fan or dehumidifier. The concept is why you should use the dehumidifier and exhaust fans, because if your hatchery humidity is exceeding than 70 to 80, it will increase the moisture volume in your hatchery environment. Eventually, it will increase the temperature, and when the temperature increases, it is inversely proportional to the oxygen. The atmospheric oxygen levels will reduce, and eventually the dissolved oxygen, that is oxygen dissolved in water, will also reduce. And we start saying कि बाबा उसके gills ज़्यादा open हो रहे हैं, it is breathing very fast. So after temperature, I will say dissolved oxygen is the main thing. You can see discus tanks, they are highly, मतलब जैसे पानी उबल रहा है इतना fast bubbling होता है, so you should maintain that level, but not at the bottom. But discus is a high, मतलब फ्रिंकी ईटर और बहुत खाना उसको पसंद है, तो ऑलवेज मेक श्योर कि आपके डिस्कस टैंक्स में आपके एरेटर्स इट्स सिचुएटेड स्लाइटली बिलो द सरफेस लेवल ऑफ अराउंड 4 to 5 इंचेस, नॉट बिलो दैट. अदरवाइज इट विल गिव यू पूरा पानी और उसके साथ वो खाना गंदगी सब घूमता रहेगा. आफ्टर दैट लाइट, as we all are into the ornamental fish industry, light is also important. We can't keep or discuss or can't keep on any fish in dark unless and until it is getting some form of natural light. Light is important to maintain all the cycles in your fish tanks. Just consider if you are not keeping them light, so there will no proper standardization or proper cycling of tanks, just because of bacteria will not establish in your tank, and sometimes it will give you the adverse effects. The light is directly dependent on all cycles are directly dependent on light, like carbon cycle, like oxygen cycle, CO2 cycle, even the ammonia cycle. Ammonia is highly toxic in substance. We'll discuss in our next slide. So next slide is about chemical parameters. So we all talk about pH. pH is again highly essential thing. Sometimes more essential when you're planning to breed those fishes. If you're breeding particular fish, the highly essential thing is pH. If the particular fish is not maintained in a proper pH, it will not give you the good yield. As discus is a warm water fish, they like to live in a slightly acidic water. So I will ask you to maintain them at 6.5 to 7 pH. It is ideal pH for discus. whenever you're keeping it proper parameters of pH, so you should keep those things in mind. So you should measure those things. So how to measure pH? While measuring pH, there are n number of test kits available in the market, but don't go for the pen or the normal probe type of test kits, because when you're using probe or a pen, pH pen, you need to calibrate it every time you take the results. So it is good for laboratories, but not for home aquariums. Home aquariums, I will recommend the stripes, the pH stripes, or the colorimetric method. That is, it will give you the proper coloration to identify the pH, and try to maintain it 6.5 to 7. Now the second factor is TDS. TDS is total dissolved solid. Many times we get confused it with the hardness of water. The hardness is altogether different factor. TDS, just consider if the hardness is all our minerals together. TDS is any solid matter, total dissolved solid, that is TDS. So if you're adding the food into your water, the water TDS is going to increase. It will not harm your hardness, it will not harm your pH unless until the food and the other substances are pH neutral. So always make sure your pH TDS should be 40 to 60 to achieve the good results in breeding. Slightly upper hand is good for raising. So we'll discuss in next slide, next point, that is hardness. Hardness we generally measure into two categories, that is GH and KH. To make sure, GH, just remember GH is general hardness and KH is carbonate hardness. Carbonate, many people say it should be as good as zero, but zero carbonates will not give you the good results, because calcium, that is the carbonates, are essential for growth, essential for breeding. When people work in the industry of discus keeping, they ask me to use the RO water. RO is good when the water is not, the tap water is not up to the mark with respect to relatable parameters. But when if you are using RO water, you should add some minerals to it. You should add some calcium to it. Otherwise, the calcification process will not happen. When female lays egg on the cone, male will spray sperms on it. After that process, immediately the calcification has to takes place. Otherwise, वो calcification नहीं होगा तो eggs fertilize होने के बावजूद खराब हो जाएगा. So no calcium is not good. High calcium is also not good. So you have to maintain KH to 1 to 4 KH, that is 0 to 60 ppm. I'm talking about with respect to ppm, not TDS. If you understood, the KH should be below 4, below 3, not 0 or 1. 1 to 4 is a good range to maintain calcium or carbonate hardness. General hardness, to grow your fish, to make sure your fish will look beautiful, the GH is highly essential. If there are no minerals, you will not achieve good results in raising, growing out good fishes. You will not achieve the good coloration of the fishes. So GH is also essential. So I have categorized two GH readings here. So 1 to 3 is ideal for breeding, where high mineral content is not required. That's why in nature, in Amazon also, many fishes breed during their rainy season, because the pH drops. GH drops. So during that time, breeding achieves very highly, and after that, it's a highly dry and humid country. Little bit at a time, the GH increases with the time. So that's why in nature they achieve good size. Freshwater, high GH. There are some other units also, like microsiemens, when they read the conductivity of the water. So I'm not going into that one, that is a deep. But specifically the Germans, the Australian guy, specifically Pawlowski and specifically the Geelong discus, they use the microsiemens units to make it conductivity to the particular level. So if they are making the 4 to 8 GH, they are achieving good and huge size of their discus because of a high mineral content, because of a proper calcium content. So that is hardness. And the last part, that is a dissolved oxygen. That is a 5 mg per liter. As I said, to maintain all your system, temperature, dissolved oxygen, and after that I am taking the ammonia. Ammonia should be 0, nitrite should be 0. Why it should be 0? Because they are highly toxic in nature. And the nitrate 20 ppm tak chal jayega, but try to keep it near zero to achieve good results. Now, if you are, as we said, if you are maintaining pH below 6.5, below 5, so your ammonia will get iodized, and the toxicity of ammonia will reduce. तो उस वक्त अगर आप pH मेंटेन कर रहे हो 5 to 6.5 के 5 to 5.5 के रेंज में, below 6, तो it will give you good result with respect to water change. आपको water change उतना कम करना पड़ेगा. But to achieve those results, आपके हाथ में टेस्ट किट होना जरूरी है. इनिशियली आपके पानी कैसे बना रहे हो, कैसे आप मेंटेन कर रहे हो. If you are using tap water that is giving you pH 6.5 to 7, so remember, don't use any kind of stuff. Just go to a proper water conditioners which will give you good results with respect to chlorine, chloramine and amines. The reason because I'm talking about the chloramines and amines, during last 3 years I'm experiencing this problem with respect to Mumbai scenario. During monsoon, the chlorines and amines of the water are increasing. Some precautions are taken care from the BMC guys to achieve the good hygiene and so-called to achieve the non-pandemic scenario. It will give you no bacteria, no live content inside the water. उसके वजह से पानी में जो कुछ भी लाइव है वो सब मर जाएगा, क्योंकि दिस इज अ ब्लीचिंग एक्टिविटी. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स कॉन्टैक्ट द क्लोरीन, स्पेसिफिकली क्लोरीन विल bleach everything in your water, but when chlorine comes contact with your amines, it will give you chloramines. So chloramines are not easily digestible or easily dissolvable by hypo, that is a sodium thiosulfate we are using, that is a white liquid people give, or the crystals. So to get rid of chloramines, you should use the proper water conditioner like Sikkim Safe or other companies are working in that manner. So you should check what other chemicals are available and which will act to react with chlorines, amines and chlorines, chloramines and amines. So last but not the least, the biological parameters. The highly important thing is the bacterial colonies. We should not overlook for the establishment of bacterial colonies. Bacterial colonies are highly important thing in your cycles. अगर bacterial colonies नहीं रहेंगे तो आपका जो वेस्ट मैटर है वो रिसाइकल नहीं होगा. जो आपका वेस्ट मैटर है, फिशेस का वेस्ट मैटर है, तो पूप अमोनिया का नाइट्राइट में और नाइट्राइट का नाइट्रेट में कन्वर्जन नहीं होगा. ऑक्सीजन साइकिल एस्टैब्लिश नहीं होगा. तो टू मेंटेन द प्रॉपर वाटर साइकिल्स आपको बैक्टीरियल कॉलोनीज आर हाईली इंपॉर्टेंट. There are many companies which are claiming that if you use their products, it will stabilize the bacteria within 24 hours, within 12 hours. If you don't have time, please use those. Otherwise, you will end losing lots of money on your fishes. If you are okay to wait, so bacterial colonies will take time to establish. To establish bacterial colonies will take around 24 to 35 days naturally, जो आपको अपने टैंक साइकिल करने के लिए अच्छी होती ज़रूरी है. Many times you find that tank is getting blurry, proper plant growth नहीं हो रही है, fish is not showing the proper coloration जो उसके शॉप में दिखा रहा था, यहाँ पे आके डल हो रहा है. तो major signs are related to water and water chemistry. It may be physical, it may be biological, it may be chemical. So don't overlook these parameters. Many people ask me while keeping discuss which plants are good, which animals are good. So as a plants, the hard sturdy plants like Anubias, Cryptocorynes, Echinodorus are very good, and specifically go for rhizome plants which you can attach to directly the stem plants. If you're planning to put the substrate on the bottom, there are many experts. Amit sir is here, you can talk with him. I will advise, if you're planning to keep them in a substrate, go for Corydoras like species which will clean the sand regularly. Use the sump filtration or use the canister filtration so that it will give you a flow like a river, and it will give you good results with respect to growth. So yes, animals like Apistogrammas, Rhamresis, if you're going for Altum is good, Geophaguses are good. So these are animals you can use, you can keep with your discus. So I'm taking this opportunity to talk a little bit about the biosecurity. So many we know कि what is biosecurity, but achieve कैसे करते हैं, उसके ड्रॉप अपना उसके इफेक्ट्स ऑन एनवायरनमेंट क्या हो सकते हैं. तो लेट्स सी. Protocols or measures are designed to protect the environment or population against the harmful biological and biochemical substances. So, biochemical substances like the chemicals we are using, which are not natural, which are man-made, like antifungal agent, antibacterial agents. So, when you are using those chemicals, always see to that you will use it at appropriate chemical in appropriate volume. Just don't overdose it. Use a diluter. If you're using PP, go for hydrogen peroxide, dilute it and then release the water into your drainage system. Avoid using antibiotics unless necessary. If you're keeping discus, just remember, if the discus is showing some symptoms, that is the first sign the discus is not okay with the water conditions. So first and primary measure should be the water change. Later on, add the rock salt and add the heater. Why rock salt and heater? Rock salt will increase the salinity of water and it will create the adverse climatic conditions for the bacteria and other viruses and pathogens. So just because of that, if you are observing those symptoms initially and you're using these primary methods like Garibo ka dawai type, so by just increasing the heater, it will kill all the unnecessary things, and by using rock salt, it will keep them inactive till your next water cycle. So keep the increasing salinity. Salinity आप बहुत increase कर सकते हो. Literally for 4 feet tank you can use 2 kg of rock salt. It will not harm your fish. But if you're using antibiotic in a wrong way, it will harm your fish. So primary method should be heat up with the water and use the adverse conditions. For bacteria, pathogens, viruses, whatever you call, the unwanted lives in your tank. Last thing, the proper disposal of dead fish and unwanted livestock. If you're using it, so don't just flush it out. Because जो dead है मतलब उसके साथ बैक्टीरिया भी होगा. Dead है मतलब वो बीमार था इसलिए dead है. Natural death एक्वेरियम में बहुत rarely आती है. So dispose it. सबसे बेस्ट मेथड है कंपोस्ट इट. इफ़ यू डोंट हैव कंपोस्ट बिन, जस्ट जैसे हम ऐसे इमोशनली करते हैं वैसे आप कर सकते हो. जस्ट पुट इट इन तो उसको दफना दो और उसके ऊपर झाड़ लगा दो. दैट इज द बेस्ट वे, बिकॉज नो एक्वेटिक बैक्टीरिया विल बी एक्टिव ऑन अ टेरेस्ट्रियल मोड. सो जस्ट चेंज द मोड. जो एक्वेटिक है उसको पानी में जाके मत फेंको. इफ यू हैव फिशेस लाइक सकर फिश, बाबा हो गया इसका 6 महीने, अभी मैं इसको नहीं रख सकता, जस्ट डोंट गो एंड रिलीज इन समवेयर नियर बाय योर वाटर पैरामीटर, सॉरी नेचुरल रिजर्वायर्स. Even your own body, it will harm your own biotic component, plant component. That is I'm taking this little forward. That is creating the invasion. Specifically, I'm talking about the biological invasion. Biological invasions are the result of intentional or accidental introduction of species propagates to locations outside their historical range. If you know about the Congress grass is the thing which is not Indian, but now it is growing like hell. There is one more flower, we generally put it into hedges. There is a Lantana camara, or in Marathi it is called as a ghaneri. So it is also invasive plant. Even the most smallest and cutest ornamental fish like guppy, he achieved the worldwide invasion. Now it is at that level you can't invade further. So it's already worldwide. So our duty as a aquarist or as a aquaculturist to preserve our own environment also. We are propagating this fish for hobby, not for nature. So biological invasions pose a leading threat to biodiversity worldwide, and it is not least concern. It is a third in number, and after that hunting comes. जो एक्सटिंक्शन और इंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज हो रही है वर्ल्ड वाइड, सो उसमें इन्वेजिव स्पीसीज आर टेकिंग थर्ड इन रैंक. और उसके पहले तो है वो भी ऑल आर मैनमेड ओनली, बट एज एक्वेरिस्ट वी शुड फोकस टू कीप दोज थिंग्स इन माइंड. सो माई रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल फ्रॉम behalf of all our exhibitors and all our organizers, do not release any of your pet in wild, in nature. In nature means not even in your backyard. It's not advisable. The best example is red-eared slider. If you know what I'm talking about. Red-eared sliders are the turtles which are very much famous in the ornamental industry with the name of Singapore turtle. So if you're keeping them, initially they're very cute, because they're tiny, and after 1 month, after a span of 1 year or 2 year, they grow big like your plate, approximately 9 to 10 inches, and during that time it is difficult to handle, difficult to maintain, क्योंकि उसके नाखून बढ़ जाते हैं, it start biting, उसको उठाया हुआ पसंद नहीं होता. And trust me, even though it is a 9 to 10 inch body, मतलब उतना छोटा रहेगा, उसके लिए बहुत सब बड़ी जगह लगती है घूमने के लिए. It like to roam a lot, and they like to roam a lot during dusk and dawn or late nights. So we can't give that kind of environment to these animals. If you can, go for it. If you can, keep them. But it's a special request कि बाबा ऐसी कोई भी चीज़ नेचर में रिलीज मत करना. Second thing, now the red ear sliders are fighting, like I said earlier, competition, predation and habitat alteration. They're making it with respect to अपना जो flap shell turtle है, soft shell turtle, they are fighting with those, and the population of flap shell turtles are reducing right nowadays. And if you are staying nearby the national park, just visit national park and check the first well. You will find 10 to 15 red-eared sliders. Even the officials are not they are not aware about it. We're trying to create the awareness from past 10 years. So let's see, by such exhibition and by sharing my experiences and small talks, I will achieve and I will help to achieve this kind of results. So be a responsible aquarist and pet keeper. Thank you. If you have any questions, I would like to take, because in next 15 minutes, maybe the next ones are waiting. Yes. Right. Yes.
I heard that you said the autumn angel can be kept with discus.
Yes.
But I think autumn angels are very much aggressive, and they'll create a lot of stress for discus.
When we see aggression, you can compile those things with for what parameters they are showing their aggression. There must be food, there must be space. So if you giving them the ample space and ample food, they will not fight. And during the breeding season, even the guppies fight, right? But as I'm saying, the natural parameters of autumn angels and the discus are very much same. So with respect to that, you can keep them. The only thing you should give them the ample amount of space. The experts sitting here, Anil sir is here, Amit sir is here. They are.
That we need.
Sorry.
We must keep them in a 6 feet tank.
Definitely. Ample space is more required. Because Azuma, I answer your question in a proper manner. So space is more required. Even if you're keeping the 3 foot tank, the discus will get more aggressive, and eventually you have to remove the pairs and everything.
Just ask the question as a layman. I just asked the question as a layman.
No, it's perfect. I'm happy to answer, but I hope I answer your questions in a proper way. Thank you.
This badam ka patta, how does it change the water chemistry of the?
Okay. So he's asking the almond leaf how to helps in discus keeping, right? And how to change the chemistry. Okay. So
the almond leaf, how does it change the water chemistry?
Okay. If you're keeping discus and if you're changing water regularly, almond leaf will not help you. Many people say it will reduce the pH of tank, but I will say it will release the excess amount of tannins in your water. It will not reduce the temperature. It will not reduce the pH of your water. pH अचीव होने के लिए आपको उतना क्वांटिटी में almond leaves डालने पड़ेंगे और उतना टाइम वेट करना पड़ेगा. To achieve the tannins, it will give you result in 24 hours. But again, as a discus keeper, you are changing the water, so it will not help. Tannin will eventually help you if you are keeping it for longer term to reduce the bacterial colonies, because tannins जो harmful bacteria discuss के लिए है, उन्हें tannins पसंद नहीं. And even there are some traditional medicines that are using almond leaves. उसमें almond leaves का extract use करते हैं and they keep their feet inside to get rid of bacterial colonies. So harmful bacteria will reduce, but it will not affect in a very much manner for pH.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You said that the TDS has to be 40 to 60 ppm.
Yes.
But when it comes to raising of discus, don't you think that the TDS should be much higher?
No, yes. When you're raising the discus, your GH, that is, it should be more than 4. And if you're breeding, then it should be less than 4. So yes,
What
you're
should
right.
be the TDS, the highest TDS for raising?
Sorry?
How much should be the TDS, the maximum permissible?
Permissible currently, with my experience, some suppliers are making them grow at 700 TDS also. Some are 1000 also, but I don't know what they are achieving. But I'm situated in Dahisar, so I'm using the 100 TDS. We're using the other forms of salts, not minerals.
Can you give some simple tips as to how do you manage the carbonate hardness?
How do you keep it just like my friend said, layman question.
Right.
Yeah, I would get the monitors, okay, I'll get the test kit and everything, but how do I manage to keep it between 1 and 4?
1 and 4, there are many chemicals available in the market, like to increase the carbonate or to decrease the carbonate. There are some buffer solutions also available. But if you're willing to achieve those results, you have to very good with the test kits. Because it is not a rocket science, but it has to standardize with your own water. Because what I'm getting in Mumbai, the water sources, and what the Thana people are getting in Thana, the water sources must be different. So how will react with your chemical, I can't say right now. But if you have the proper test kit to measure those things, you can achieve the results. And always go as a degree changes, not sudden changes will not good for any of your fish.
How very important is pH for a hobby like that?
I can say if you all are from Mumbai, don't worry about the KH and GH for discus or any other fish. If you are planning to keep them, the fishes which are okay with 7 and 7 below neutral. Slightly acidic water. But if you're planning to keep them Tanganican cichlids or little other varieties of cichlids, they need TDS pH like 8 or 9. So you should achieve with the minerals which are readily available in the market. For KH, as I said, if you are living in Mumbai, don't worry about the KH and GH. BMC is very good and working for us. So that is the main result. For past many years, we are working in a breeding industry, not the raising industry. Nick, go ahead. Okay.
I think my voice is louder now.
Yes.
So, what is the optimum temperature where I will get maximum fertility for this?
Discuss. It should be 26 to 28. If your temperature is stabilizing between that range and it is giving you a longer period like 24 hours, 48 hours, it will give you good result. If you are achieving that temperature for evening and in morning it is reducing, the yield you will lose your yield. And with respect to breeding, you have to maintain not only temperature, as I said, you have to maintain the dissolved oxygen and water parameters as well. For Mumbai climate, as I'm a completely R&D guy, so I work with multiple experiments for my discus breeding tanks and raising tanks. So what I'm doing, I'm giving them early morning 20%, late night 20% and afternoon 60% water changes. So I'm achieving 100% but not once. And that will give you good result because it will stabilize the temperature, it will stabilize the bacterial colony and it will give time to your fish to achieve the proper natural environment. Continuous water changes will एक बार कभी तो ब्रीड हो गया नहीं तो बाद में उसके बाद उसका cycle will vary and as per my experience giving them rest will give you the good yield. After every 1 or 2 breeds give them 15 to 20 days rest. I keep them in a community tank and I shift the prayers.
Do you think 5 ppm DO is sufficient?
More the better. Because dissolved oxygen पानी में उतना dissolved condition में रहेगा नहीं इसलिए
See, it is entirely inversive proportion. No, the temperature goes higher,
yes
the oxygen content will
go down
and the temperature reduces, the oxygen content goes
go up yes
Okay. See, when we are maintaining the temperature in between 28 to 30, it definitely tends to come down.
yes
So that means 5 ppm for breeding, I don't think it will be the optimum level. It needs to be somewhere around 7 to 8 ppm.
okay no I am achieving good result to 5 to 6 but I will definitely check with your results
Yeah, because during the daytime automatically the water temperature goes up. If
Right.
you are in a warmer region.
Right.
That means during the daytime, if you check, let us take 12 noon, the water dissolved content, dissolved oxygen content of the water reduces maybe somewhere around 3 to 3.5 ppm. But during the night time, it automatically
Goes down,
Okay,
yes.
so that variation, the level of fluctuation, how does it impact? And what can you see?
Currently, I'm not facing this type of problem in Mumbai area, but if you're facing this type of problem, so it will affect the gills directly. And with respect to breeding, it will not give the proper rest which is required for breeding pairs. So it will directly affect on yield. So as you said, if you are achieving good results at 8, so we'll try to maintain that, and I will see what I am achieving. If it is giving good results, because I'm also a learner, I'm just sharing experience. So all suggestions are also welcome. Yes, sir.
You are using RAS.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you have a RAS system, you have a lot of colonies of bacteria, good bacteria.
Yes.
And all of these RAS colonies, bacteria which live in them, they will consume your hardness, they will consume carbonates.
Okay.
So do you add any carbonates to your RAS system?
No, we are giving them water changes. So eventually, whatever we are getting, it is maintaining.
So
Because
no 100% RAS.
sorry.
No 100%.
No 100% RS. It is not giving me that kind of ability to complete the entire system because it's a DIY system, nothing fancy, nothing major. So I'm using the normal, the plastic type wala kathya jo aata hai. So I'm using that. I'm using giving the flow. I'm giving the kind of a dry and wet method where 2 chambers are dry chambers where only moisture is maintaining and 1 chamber is completely submerged inside the water.
That will give very high bacteria colonies.
Yes. Because semi-aquatic and aquatic, both bacterial colonies will establish. But yes, as you said, to introduce the hardness to the natural level, we are giving them around 40 to 60% water changes daily. Earlier we used to 100%, but now it is only 40 to 60%. So we did not achieve the complete system for breeding and nursery. We are managing on manual level only. So we achieved complete system, not I will say complete, the partial recirculating aquaculture system for grow outs. Fingers crossed, we are working.
All the best.
Thank you.
This Western Pleco, what is the compatibility with Western?
If your discus are growing with bristlenose pleco babies, it's good. When bristlenose babies achieve the complete size, it is not okay to give them the meaty food. It is advisable to give them the vegetarian food. And when the discus achieve the maturity, it will attack the discus because discus starts secreting the mucus, and mucus is a highly nutritional value. So I saw during night time, if you forget to feed your bristlenose babies or bristlenose adults, it will start attacking the discus, and next day the discus will be lying and the bristlenose will be swimming inside the water. Even the royal whiptails, by looking at them, they will look cute, they will look too small, too thin, but they can they can make your discus dead within 12 hours. So it's not advisable to keep these varieties with discus. Yes, but if you're raising discus with bristlenose babies, it's good because they need some form of protein. And when you're keeping discus babies, the number is huge. Around, say, what we are achieving, that is 200 to 250 babies per batch. So whatever you're putting, it will consume it is reaching to the bottom. And whatever the remaining, the bristlenose are feasting on them. And that amount of protein is good. Yes. Right. Okay.
If it is a bare bottom tank, yes, definitely it's a problem.
Okay.
But in a tank in the wood tank,
Okay. But I feel, as of my experience, I'm still thinking when they start secreting mucus, it is difficult to keep them. As I'm a bare bottom keeper, my all tanks are bare bottom, so it is difficult for us. Okay.
Let us say, with the pH of the water,
Okay.
8.2, what method you suggest to bring it?
You can use RO water and by test kits you can use your tap water to it and reduce it to the 6. If you are not
Let's
good,
say I'm using my groundwater. My groundwater pH is 8.2 and the carbonate hardness is close to around, let us say like 60 to 80 ppm.
okay.
And then the general hardness it is close to around 700. How do you suggest to bring it down?
The Sikkim buffer is a good product to reduce the pH by degree Celsius. But if you are planning to go with the traditional methods, there are other methods like coco peat, or the technical method is the RO system, when you can get the RO water and use the actual existing tap water to mix with it to achieve to the 5.5 to 6. Okay, so would like to thank you all, and you can contact me on my number 9769074939 for any queries I would like to help. We also do conducting the next session, that is the 8th batch of Science of Discus Keeping on 10th and 11th of December. If you're willing to join, do let me know. If you're not willing to join, if you have any questions, so I will tell you, you can ask. I will not tell you you can't ask. Anytime Conservative Aquatics will help to promote education and awareness in any which way possible. So thank you all. Again, thank you Matthew sir for giving this opportunity to sharing my experience. So by this experience I will grow, and thanks a lot.